Not a lot of people know the truth about evolution. And when they think about evolution, they think of a picture like this. Want some proof? All right, my question is this evolution? Yes. Yes. What do you think? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Newsflash, it's not. I'm here today to show you just exactly how Darwin's theory of evolution works. Let's go. It all started with this man, Charles Darwin. In 1831, he got on a ship called the Beagle. No! Not the Beagle, the Beagle, like the dog, which is kind of ironic considering the majority of his work had to do with animals. This ship of his sailed to the Galapagos Island, where he saw these really cool animals called finches, and he noticed they were all very similar, but there was one thing very different. Look at this picture. Notice anything different? That's right, all of the birds have different beaks. And it wasn't just finches that Darwin noticed this in. Tortoises also had different features depending on what island they lived on. Darwin spent years studying these different species, and he came up with an idea. And in this idea, he explained why some birds look like this, some birds look like this, and some birds look like this. And he called this theory evolution by natural selection, which he published in his book on the origin of species. Darwin believed that all species came from a common ancestor, but we'll come back to that in a second. Now that we have our background on the theory, what is it? Evolution, in the most simplistic terms, is the idea that things change over time. Darwin's theory, however, just supplied reasoning as to why it does. Life is thought to have begun at the smallest level, as single-cell bacteria. But mutations, or small changes in DNA occurred, things began to change. Depending on the environment, different types of plants, animals, and bacteria would occur. So the picture of the ape turning into a human is completely incorrect. It is right in the sense that we come from a common ancestor. We are just more evolved. Another great example of this is the okapi and the giraffe. They share many similarities and their genomes are almost the same. Now what about natural selection? Natural selection is nature forcing plants and animals to evolve as the earth changes. There are many different types: directional, stabilizing, and disruptive. It all depends on which variation of the trait is favored. In the finches, depending on what island you are, the beaks change size and one extreme was favored over the others. Bam! Directional selection. Darwin believed this was because the islands were drifting apart, and as we switched islands, the food sources changed. So genetic mutation would occur that allowed the finches to have an easier time living and live longer and reproduce more. This trait would become the majority of the population, which means the species would be adapting and growing. This concept is called allopatric speciation, when species are physically separated and a new species is formed. To this theory. To explain this, let's look at the speckled moth. Originally, the favorite trait was this coloring. And then, as the Industrial Revolution happened, this became the more popular one. Why? Simple. Originally, the trees were lighter, and this moth could camouflage, and therefore the birds couldn't see it and eat it. However, as the trees got covered in soot, this one was now camouflaged, meaning it lived longer and reproduced more, therefore making this the more favored trait. And this was all because they were able to adapt to their environment. But let's be clear, this does not happen overnight. You will not wake up one morning to find a new species of squirrel. However, if you watch carefully over time, you may see some small changes in the squirrel population. This is called microevolution. A species will change over time due to small genetic mutations or variations. This is very different from macroevolution, which is completely dependent on speciation, the formation of new species, and extinction. Both do not happen overnight. Okay, so now you should be able to wrap your head around on just how complex this theory is. So next time you go outside, take a look at the biodiversity around you and look at some similarities, and think like your friend Charles Darwin.